think of the disposition today?
Well, we're happy with it. It was a joint submission. As you could tell, my client was extremely remorseful. It's extreme remorse. She, of course, can't take it back what happened, but she's doing everything positive in her life so that the complainant would not have to go through cross-examination, and in fact this isn't somebody you'll ever see before the courts again. She is really of exemplary character. This is a woman that was a wonderful mother, a pillar in her community, a member of her church. She did one bad thing in her life, and I think she's undergoing a penance. What she's done to herself is far outweighing what the criminal justice system could ever do.
But how could she have done that? I mean, people make mistakes, yes, but as someone who, again, like
well,
you said,
these
who has...
things happen. I mean, things happen that we can't explain, and there is no excuse, and she acknowledges that. So you make a good point. But again, sentencing on this type of offense, denunciation is involved, and you know, this is not a situation where the Crown Attorney or the community has to be in fear that they're in any type of danger. Again, this lady will never be before the criminal courts again. And imagine how she feels inside. You know, she's embarrassed, she's brought shame on her family, she's incredibly remorseful for what has happened to the complainant and his family, obviously. So clearly, it doesn't matter what the criminal justice system does, quite frankly, she's punished herself.
I've heard, you know, we heard that one statement from her sister saying that, in a sense, he got what he wanted. There was also a member in the audience.
That wasn't her sister that said that.
Daughter.
But
Former daughter-in-law.
Again, you have to remember that Her Honor's absolutely right. It doesn't matter the gender of the complainant. Sexual assault is wrong. End of story. It doesn't matter that...
And your client recognizes that?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter that the client initiated it. You heard the facts. Sexual assault, when you're in a position of trust and it's a minor, there is no consent. So clearly, she overstepped that boundary. She's paying the price today, but she will make it up to the community. She's doing it in the best way she can.
Is there a double standard, men versus women? If the
Not in the court system. But you're right, out on the streets, of course you're right. You know you are. But in terms of the court system, no. And I think the judgment today answers that question. It wasn't, she was treated not more lenient, or more harshly because of the gender of the complainant. She was treated under the law. This is a first-time offender whose matter was out of character for them, who pled guilty and spared the complainant cross-examination and the rigors of trial. So clearly, she was not treated differently because of the gender of the complainant.
Early on in this case, you said that you were prepared to go to trial with this case and call the complainant or the victim. What happened?
In relation to that, first of all, as you know, criminal cases are always fluid, things change, and she indicated that she wanted to spare the young person any cross-examination or embarrassment. She knew she was wrong. Keep in mind, she went and confessed to the police.
After she was caught, though, right?
Well, yeah, but still, it was her husband. It wasn't the police that caught her. I mean, so we have to remember she could have invoked all these fundamental principles. For example, the right to remain silent, presumption of innocence, all these things. She chose not to, and she confessed, and she did the right thing. So clearly, Mr. Costa and the court, Her Honor Justice Pomerantz, was giving her credit for that, and rightfully so. The highest courts in the land say that has to be given credit, as we all know.
I heard you say that she has already been undergoing counseling.
That's correct.
Is that for sexual offenders already?
No. I mean, the counseling involves depression, self-esteem issues, which would have led into this situation. She was at a stage in her life where she was undergoing some real difficulties in her marriage. This was a young lady that was married at the age of 16, had 4 children by the age of 20. By all accounts, was an excellent and wonderful and appropriate mother. And again, I had a record that were given to the judge and the Crown from her employers. Everybody had a wonderful thing to say about her, quite frankly. You couldn't find anybody that would say a bad word about this woman. That's why this was so out of character. And but you saw the probation counseling is going to be addressed in relation to that deviant behavior. But you have to remember, she wasn't a predator. She didn't set out, this is not her choice. In terms of, you know, some people that we know involved in these matters have a certain predatory nature to them. This was not that situation.